program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
We are looking at one of our most common species of antelope, the mighty Impala, cooling itself off, and this is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
Five, four, three, two, one. You are live, you are live.
Welcome everyone to once again another marvelous beginning to a sunset safari. My name is Ali and on camera with me today is Craig, and we are very happy to have you guys on board. Now, as you all know, it's a live and interactive show, so if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to send them through using the hashtag Safari Live. Now, we have started our afternoon looking at these very clever creatures that are just enjoying a bit of a breeze in the shade while they ruminate. And by ruminate, I mean rechewing everything that they've eaten, making sure that they process it and make it smaller so that it can carry on passing through their digestive system. Now, like I said, I think the temperature today is 23 and 77, so we've had quite a hot day overall, and we are hoping that some of the creatures might have come out to play, because they proved to be very elusive this morning, all of them. I think that maybe they were a little bit cold, and that's why they were not moving all throughout. Hello, Impala. Now, these boys are being smart, just staying around there and just enjoying the breeze and the wind flowing in their direction, probably helping in the cooling down process. Wonderful, guys. We are, however, going to leave you here because we have bigger fish that we'd like to catch this afternoon. We had some reports earlier on from Dylan, actually Brent's brother, that 2 leopards crossed into our area later this morning. So one of them apparently somewhere around Treehouse Dam and the other one close to that general direction where we're going. So we're going to go have a look, see if perhaps we can pick up on any tracks for any leopards and see if actually we had anyone come back this morning, because during the night nobody came to Djuma, funny enough. So while we do that and we carry on, let's go over to Taylor, who would like to say hello to everyone.
Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to Safari Live. My name is Taylor, and on camera with me today is Sebastian. And we are bumbling about on this live safari. So yes, this is happening right now. Remember to hashtag Safari Live with any of your questions, or perhaps you have a request and maybe we can put it into the menu and see what pops out for this afternoon. It'll be quite nice. I might have some surprises. I'm not saying yes or no just yet, but we'll see. Might play a game with you a little bit later. We've just obviously checked the hyena den. If you're watching the pre-show, if you've only just joined us now, I did check it and it is empty. Well, I'm sure there's little hyena cubs inside the den, but no one came out to greet me, which was unusual. So they must be exhausted. They must have played, they must have full bellies. And I even drove around the entire den to see if I could see the adults, but they weren't laying in the shade. However, somebody that has been playing in the sun, as Ali said earlier, on the zebra, we might see them. These tracks aren't too old. They're going straight up towards the Buffalo cut line. Perhaps at some point we'll have to pop past Warthogs Dam, because I believe there's an elephant that was drinking water. I don't know if it was just one elephant or if it was many elephants. Hopefully we'll get many elephants at some point too, and maybe some spotted cats. Megan, who's directing today, says she only saw one elephant. Okay, thank you very much, Megan. We'll go and have a look just now. I know that there are still some guests in the lodge. Actually, that reminds me, I need to do some homework myself. Lex for Taylor. I wonder if Lex is still here. Remember I found the cover for a lens, and I called it in on the radio. No one answered, and I was trying to get hold of Lex, because I suspect that it could be one of his or one of his guests. We'll just keep it for safekeeping for the meantime, though. We'll keep asking on the radio. There have been lots and lots of other vehicles around. Remember, it's school holidays in South Africa as well. Some white crested helmet shrikes. don't fly to that marula tree. They're just hopping on the edge over here. And if you listen very, very carefully, you may even be able to hear them call. And off they go. A very quick view of the helmet-crested shrikes. Not one to sit still for very long. We're going to have to find some community nest spiders. And then we can tell the story of the community nest spiders and the white-crested helmet shrikes. That's what we'll have to do. Alright, so we're going to carry on. We're going to head down Mvubu Road now. Perhaps we'll swing past Vuyatela Dam in just a moment. I'll just wait for the guides to pop through. See, once they go on safari, then we can go. I'm going to send you back across to Ali. She's searching for spotted cats. Let's see if she's picked up any tracks.
Well, so far no luck. We've only picked up earlier on tracks for some striped animals, so not quite exactly what we're looking for. But I'm sure that those are the tracks for the ones that we saw this morning, and there were quite a few zebra all around. Now, seems like no leopard tracks for the time being, so I don't know if maybe we should check that new road, or if we should go this way and see where it leads us. What do you think, Craig? It's a new road. Okay. Yeah, maybe this will give us a good chance, because Shadow has been spending quite a lot of time around this area, and it's not too far from the spots where we have found her recently. So I don't know, we can just have a look around, and if not, we'll go check around the main road, see if we can pick up on anything that might indicate that she was somewhere around this area. That would be quite nice if we do come across any tracks or any leopards. As the cats this morning, they were very quiet and very elusive. Now, I'm going to keep my eyes focused on the road, see if there are any tracks so that we don't miss them, don't squash them over, and then our search is in vain. Now, I wonder if that other leopard that we saw crossing earlier on, apparently according to Dylan it was Hosanna, so maybe we'll also, if this bears no fruit, we're going to go and check around that area just as after we're finished this one. And we just kind of chose this road because it's closer to the lodge to start checking first from our starting point. So we shall see where this brings us. Hopefully also some elephants on the way. I hope that they are by some of the water holes. I do know that Taylor's trying to go to Gowrie Dam, and I think there was one elephant seen on the dam cam recently, so I'm really hoping that she'll be able to have at least a glimpse of it, because elephants, lions and buffaloes have been a bit of a rare sight as of general. Well, buffalo not so much. We have actually seen more buffalo than what I've seen in the last month. I think all combined in the last 3-4 days. Alright, let's see. No tracks here. Whew. Alright, I am hoping that we're gonna catch a glimpse of them maybe moving somewhere in the grass, because as we know, the cub is barely taller than the grass, so our best shot is for them to have been moving somewhere along the road, or to be moving somewhere in the grass in an area where we can spot them. Now, where are you guys? Alright, wonder if we're gonna see any nice birds earlier on. We had a few ground scraper thrushes that were moving around in the middle of the road, and every now and again we see them there. So it was a good find. However, the two of them flew away, so we couldn't really show them to you guys. But it is a very pretty little bird. So it's normally on the ground, and it's got this beautiful black markings on its body, almost like little spots on their chest, and then the top of their feathers is of a, I would say, grayish color, but it's a very pretty bird to see. Seems like no tracks around here. I am still waiting to be able to find that leopard tree, of course, and would it be very appropriate for a Saturday to find a leopard on top of a marula tree, so let's hope that we get one of those today as well. Come on, Shadow. We know you want to be here. Come say hello. Maybe not too far. And again, we are checking in the distance all the termite mounds just to make sure that we don't miss one where she could potentially be, because it seems like that is her treat. Alright, no, there's a squirrel on this termite mound, so definitely no little leopard cub staying up here. And no tracks that I can see in the meantime on the road. Alright, maybe she's gone a bit further ahead. If not, then like I said, we're gonna check the main road and then go back to the fire break and check that area where we saw her yesterday morning, I think it was. Ooh, it's getting quite windy now. Okay. Still no tracks around here. It seems like Taylor's gonna head to the elephants at Gary Dam, so let's go over to her and hope that she finds them.
I'd like to, but I haven't heard from Rexon just yet, and he's driving out of Warthogs Lodge. I don't think the guests have left just yet, but we'll see if I can try again. James Taylor, trying to get hold of Rexon's tracker. Hopefully that way we'll be able to find out when they're going to be going out on safari, but maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to sneak a view. But we're not far away now, it's just a little bit of a drive still, and then we'll have a decent view of the dam, and we'll be able to take the situation from there and decide what we're going to do next. Impala, lots of impala around here, as they normally are. This is always an exceptional amount that hang around Warthogs Dam, and here they are. Oh look, that one's eating a bone right in the middle of the road. Very tasty, that little one. How cool is that? Oh, sorry, so that's just taking my foot off of the brake. Now, this is a very interesting sighting to have, of course. I'm just confirming that it is a bone of some sort, yes, and not a piece of vegetation. Now, what it's trying to do is it's trying to extract the calcium from that bone. It's called, what's it called, Sebastian? Let's see if you remember. Do you remember?
I do.
You do? I'll give you a clue. It starts with an O. Okay, I'll let this one say. We're trying to, because Sebastian's been working in the bush for a very long time, so we need to remind him and test him on these things.
All I can think of is homeophagy, but that's something else.
Homeophagy. I don't even know what that one, but it's close though. Osteophagy is the word that we are looking for over there. What's homeophagy? I've actually never heard of that.
I think it's when you have flatulence.
Oh. Seb says he thinks it's got to do with something about flatulence, so I'm going to have to do a bit of Googling on that one a little bit late. But either way, it's very close. But luckily for this impala, it hasn't got anything to do with that. It is just trying to get the calcium off. Now, I had an amazing sighting the other day of an Inyala female, and I think I mentioned this sighting. She was feeding on the bones of the buffalo that died near Buffelshoek Dam, and that was quite cool because this is the typical type of sighting we have when animals are feeding on bones. It's sort of just shards of bone. It's not an entire piece, and they'll chew on little bits of it. But with this female Inyala, it was exceptional. She had an entire rib bone. And most of you have seen the size of a buffalo rib bone. It's not small. It's sort of like a Fred Flintstone dinner that, well, is it Welmer? Welmer is his wife, eh? Yes, it is Welmer. That Welmer would have prepared for him. It was quite interesting to see. But this little one is doing it about its best. Now, we do tend to see animals doing these different types of behaviors, trying to extract nutrients from various things, mostly in the winter months. Again, it's just got to do with the vegetation not having enough minerals and nutrients in it, so they need to try and supplement their diet. It's like sort of when you see a hippopotamus eating or feeding on a carcass. They're not taking very much meat, but they'll typically do it during the harsher seasons. It looks like it's having a great time though. It's almost like its eyes wants to close. It might be a little bit therapeutic as well. Isn't that cool? Be careful you don't choke, little impala, because that would be terrible. And they literally do have to be careful, because those shards of bone are so sharp, and they would have been broken up by the hyenas. We know that there's no shortage of hyena around here, so I think, seeing as though that they've moved in, there's going to be a lot more bones scattered all over the show, And we'll probably see the animals doing this quite often. But I'm not going to chase it out of the way, so we're going to have to sit here and wait until this impala decides to finish. Now remember, this is a live and interactive safari, so if you do have any questions, you can hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. Perhaps this is the first time that some of you have actually seen osteophagy being performed. I can hear voices in the lodge. Now my favorite animal that chews on bones has to be the giraffe, because they'll pick bits and pieces of bones up, but they do the most distinct sort of head movements. You can spot from a distance when a giraffe is chewing on a bone. They tilt their heads up towards the sky and then move the bone around a bit in their mouth. It's a funny looking sign. It almost looks like they keep trying to stretch their heads, but they're not. They're just chewing on the bone. And how cool is that? I wonder how much calcium they're actually getting off or getting out of that. How long do they have to chew on that piece of bone to get a sufficient amount? But I suppose then that again is also varied depending on how much they're lacking. And I'm sure every impala is slightly different, because no two impala will have exactly the same diet. Some days they're feeding more on grass, some days they're feeding more on leaves, and I think that that's dependent to each individual impala too. Ex-Ranger, you say, nom 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 nom, my bone is tasty. Apparently it is. I wouldn't know. I've never chewed on... Oh no, that's nonsense. We've all eaten ribs. For a moment I was going to say I don't think I've ever chewed on an animal bone, but that's absolute nonsense. And trying to pick it up again. Now pause, you're wondering if this impala would choke on it. Those are my concerns as well, and that's why I said it needs to be careful. Luckily that's a fairly large piece, so I think it'll be quite difficult for it to get it just lodged in its throat. But if it was, say, maybe half of that size, then I'd be very worried for this impala. But again, the fittest and the strongest survived. And if you're going to make a mistake and pick up the wrong shard of bone and chew on it, and it ends up in your death, it's very harsh. But nature is, I always say how harsh nature is, as beautiful as what it is. Mother Nature doesn't play any jokes. She means business all the time, and if you slip up, it could mean your life in exchange. And that's what happens out here sometimes. Yes, unfortunately we can't go to the dam anyway, because it sounds like the guests are still there. Are you going to continue, or have you had enough? Looks like it's had enough now. That's very interesting, don't you think? I wonder what bone that was. It could be from maybe a buffalo, because there's been many buffalo kills around here from the Nkumba Pride last year towards the end of the dry season, all scattered out. Actually not too far behind us there was a kill, so don't say the hyenas could have come through here and moved them all out of the way. I wonder if it's still got a little bit in its mouth. It's still sort of chewing about. Here's a question I don't know the answer to, and it's from Holly. How long does it take for a bone to lose its nutrients? I actually have not got a clue at all. Does anybody know? I actually don't know. Maybe can somebody see if they can find something on the internet? I've never read it in any of my books where they've discussed the long-lasting abilities of nutrients. But I can't imagine that it would be a short period of time, because we see animals chewing on bones from carcasses that have been there for years and years, and I don't think that they'd be chewing on bones for fun. I don't think it's in the pastime of an impala. But if you perhaps find an article, maybe on the interweb, or you've read something before, please share it with all of us. We'd love to, of course, hear and learn something new. You can hashtag the Safari Live, or maybe one of the other presenters have discussed something like this. Like I said, I think that the calcium in particular stays in those, or lasts for quite some time, or whatever other nutrients that they're getting out of it. Okay, now we're looking. You see, I can see the guests right up against the fence of the lodge. That's no good for us, unfortunately. I can see the elephants' heads down here. What I might be able to do... they're coming back. That's fine. Perfect. We win. They've had their drink. Sorry, we missed them drinking, but we couldn't have gone down. But they're all coming back up here now. So now we get to have an up-close and personal interaction with the elephants, which suits me just fine. Maybe one gives a little shake and we get a bit of mud covered on us. And it is a little one too. Hello, little baby elephant. Swinging its trunk around You have absolutely no idea how to use that thing yet, do you? Do you know how to use your legs? You can move very quickly. Catching up to Mom. And we're going to watch a whole long line of elephants walk past us. This is going to be great. Sorry, so I'm locking the car into gear. Otherwise we're going to roll towards them, and I don't think Mom would be too impressed if we rolled towards them. Hello, little ones. There we go. Older sibling encouraging the younger one. Keep her moving, my friend. Keep her moving. Now, they're nice hot day. They've covered themselves in mud. And Christine, you said that the Ellies are on the move. They are indeed. I want to go forward a little bit. And you know what I was actually hoping, Sebastian? It's something that I've been wanting to see. You know this big marula tree over here? I'm just going to put my foot on the clutch. They rub on it quite often. And I thought we were going to get a first-hand experience of how these elephants actually rub up against this marula tree. You can see there's a huge pathway that's been worn there. Just going to move here slightly, so that if they do decide to go and do that, we have a good view already. Now, the one that's stopped and smelling us very subtly is a young elephant bull.
This one, huh?
Yes, this one. The one that's got his war paint on. And now he's resting his trunk on the ground. Don't step on your trunk. It'd be terrible. I'm glad I can't step on my nose. We're covered in mud. Lovely glistening in the light. But look at that big stripe of mud down his forehead. That's the war paint I was telling you about. Hello, young man. Hopefully he's not going to give us any trouble. Not that I'm worried about him giving us trouble. He'd just be a young naughty elephant. Here comes a cow though. Now we'll watch her carefully. I'll make sure that she doesn't show us any agitation signs. Hello, girl. Are you going to come over? Please don't come over. Hello, girl. Yes. You want to have a dust bath. There's plenty of sand around for you to have a dust bath. No, I have to just sit up and watch her. Make sure that she's not going to do anything too sneaky. Hello, girlie. Now, she's not showing any agitation signs. She's stopping. I think she's just sussing out the situation. Can I go back for you? Would you like to dust bath right here? No. Did you see that big piece of mud fall off of the top of her head too? Not bothered by all. Just having a look at us. She's still smelling us. You know what it might be is that I just filled the car up with petrol. So they might be smelling the little bit of fuel that sort of dripped onto the car. So that's what they could be, because they keep stopping here and smelling me, and I can't smell fuel at the moment too. So that's maybe why they're slightly curious with us. Who are we going to wait for? We've got two naughty ones down here, and then, oh, look at this. This is much better, Seb. This one was trying to chase this little elephant. It was quite funny. The bull, the one who stopped in front of us and had the war paint, is obviously covering himself with sand, and that little elephant came up to him and tried to do the same thing, and he shook his head at the little one, which I thought was very rude. It just shows you how intolerant they are at that age. He's slightly older than the bulls that we've been seeing, the younger bulls. I reckon he's probably in his 20s now. He's much taller. And then that little one you can see is still quite young. And then we've got, who have we got here? Oh no, look at these troublemakers. Hello, boys. Oh no, now I know we're in for a show. Look, I don't want to be covered in sand, thank you very much. I thought for a moment there we were actually going to get covered in sand. Now these two youngsters, they can't be more than about 10 years old, maybe not even quite that just yet, and very curious. They're scooping up sand, throwing it over their bodies, not throwing it at us, thankfully. I love young elephant bulls. As much as they give me grey hairs, they're really quite funny to watch. Love Dog, you've said that you could watch baby elephants all day. I could too. And then there was also a question from Misha, and that was how many elephants live in a herd, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was it. It depends, because you can have up to, maybe 5 females together, and that would make a breeding herd with all their youngsters, even less than that. And sometimes you see these massive herds, where you have 150, 200 elephants together. If you start heading up towards Zambia, Botswana, Kenya, Tanzania, you can get super herds. We'll have even more. You'll have a couple of hundred walking around together. There's still a few more coming. I'm wondering if we shouldn't wait for these bulls. I think it's only one bull that's still coming up here, because these guys are heading now in, hang on, What's this little one doing? Can you see there, Seb? The one elephant that's defecating is the little one that's rolling around in the ground. Just before they disappear, they should pop out back out onto Gari Cut Line, so we will go there. It just stopped to have a little nap. Hey, quick siesta while the adults catch up. It was that one that was running ahead and playing with the bigger bulls. It must be exhausting for a little elephant, having to walk around constantly, trying to follow the adults all the time and keep up with them. They've got much longer legs, but now they're going to feed. I can hear more elephants too. All those people. No, maybe they were people. Maybe some kids trumpeting like the elephants. Oh, that one's turning away. See that bull coming in? Is it a bull or is it a cow on the left? Can't see. No, maybe it's the cow. Yes, it was one of the cows. She didn't like something that elephant on the right was doing. I don't know if you noticed how it took a couple of steps very dramatically off to the right. And now it's hanging at the back, waiting its turn. So it's obviously we've been told to keep away. Now here comes a bull, and I'm hoping that it's going to walk on the pathway that I was telling you about. No, come this way. No, he's not. We'll go meet him. We'll go say hello to him. He's a youngster. He's not a big, enormous Kruger bull. That's in must. He's too young. Oh no. Are you running away from us? Okay, well we won't bother you then. He doesn't like us at all. He's actually a little bit jumpy for an elephant bull. Usually we see the complete opposite. So we will leave him. We won't bother him. He can come to us if he feels comfortable, and hopefully he does relax around the vehicles. We want to make sure that all the animals are comfortable around us. We don't want to upset them in any way. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a nice herd. It's a pity they weren't on the move a little bit quicker, because then they might have popped out into Gari Line. What did I say? Gari Line? I don't know where Gari Line is. Gari Cut Line. And they just... Sometimes I think to myself, the other voice in my head says, did you just say that out loud? No, I have to nod and yes. Just admit it rather than trying to ignore it. They're coming this way. I'm going to stop in a gap and we'll watch them. Are we going to be able to? No, it's too thick. I'm just trying to find the perfect spot, because now they're moving. Oh, here's one elephant here. And there's another one there. There's lots of elephants to be surrounded. The best way to be surrounded, the best way to be surrounded is by elephants. We can look at this cow. Hello, girl. Oh, she's got quite big tusks. Now we have a question from Charles on this beautiful, windy, sunny afternoon, and that is, at what age do the males get booted from the herd? Well, Charles, it depends on the behavior of that elephant. So from as young as about 16 years old, the males can get told to basically get lost and to go off on their own. They become quite boisterous around the herds. For those of you that aren't sure why the young males get moved out anyways, is they become a bit rowdy. I suppose that's a good way to describe them. They try and mate with the females when they're not old enough. They haven't even come into must yet, or they basically haven't even reached sexual maturity just yet. And then they start pushing the youngsters around too. And the females don't stand for that kind of behavior. So they all stand together and they force them out of the families. But it can also be as late as up to about 20 years old. There's also some exceptions. Some bulls are just a little bit more relaxed than others. Now this cow seems to be quite stressed. She's secreting quite a bit of liquid from her temporal glands. Her mammary glands are very swollen. And I also noticed, I think it was I don't know if I saw a discharge from the rear end there coming out of... Hang on, wait, let's actually get... Can I go closer so I can confirm this before I make these... Just want to check. Maybe she was just urinating and then it just looked a bit strange from the angle that we were at. But she also looks slightly pregnant. She's bulging quite heavily from the side. You can see there, just from this angle, is actually quite good. You see that? Now we know elephants are large. They're the biggest land mammal. But I think that this cow could be ready to give birth, because there's no particular young calf hanging around her. Now, that's not to say, though, that there is a calf running around with the others. It's not unusual for a little one to leave its mom after it's a couple of months old and go and play with the other elephants, and then just return when mom calls it or when it's thirsty or hungry. But you see that? I think that there is a little elephant inside there, and I think she's getting ready. She looks slightly uncomfortable the way she's standing at the moment. Swatting the flies away. They seem to be a pester at the moment too. Now, speaking about elephants giving birth, John, you were wondering, at what age can an elephant cow have her first calf? Well, again, it depends. Just as humans, and just as all the animals out there, animals will mature at different times. So I would say from about 15 years old, maybe even slightly younger than that, but it will be around there somewhere, whereas bulls only have the real opportunity to mate, and this is with free-roaming elephants. So I'm talking about elephants that have the ability to move around, and there's not just one herd of elephants, there's a number of different herds and bulls all over. If that's the case, and there's lots of bulls about, the younger bulls will only come into must for the first time, sometimes as late as 30 years old, even a little bit later than that. Otherwise, if there are no big tuskers in the area or massive older bulls, you can find that bulls will come into must slightly earlier. But again, it depends on a number of different things. It also got to do with the vegetation that's available. You know, are they healthy and strong enough, fit enough to go into must? And the same thing will apply to a female when it comes to coming to estrus for the first time. But they're all happily moving over here. We should, I reckon, in the next 10, 15 minutes or so, they'll hopefully be out here in the middle of the road. Now, I'm going to have to take a sip of water. I'm so sorry. My mouth feels like I've got cotton wool in it. Now, Francis from Israel, you're wondering if I've ever seen a live elephant birth. Well, no, not one that was born successfully, which was quite sad. I've seen a stillborn, and it was very sad sighting, actually. I've also one that I've told a number of different times, and I always get goosebumps when I tell it. It was early in my guiding days. Anyways, this elephant cow gave birth to an elephant, but it wasn't alive. But she didn't realize this straight away, and her motherly instincts kicked in as soon as that little one touched the ground. And she tried to help it up. And one thing that I noticed was that the feet of the little one looked slightly deformed. Anyway, she tried to pick this one up for a while. It wasn't standing. Eventually she realized that it was not live. So she dragged it off of the road and then proceeded to cover it with sand and leaves and sticks, which made all of us in that car burst into tears. It was almost an involuntary response to the sighting. You couldn't control it. It was so emotional to sit there through something like that. And I think that's probably when I first realized. I've had many encounters, amazing encounters with elephants, but I think round about that time I was very lucky. Right at the beginning of my guiding career, I got to realize how amazing and how intelligent elephants actually are. Let's reposition again. I need to shuffle my blankets too. I feel like I'm going to fall out of the car in a moment. We'll go here. We'll just get the next gap. See if we can't get a nice clear line of where they're going to come through. Just Hlambi of Ndlovu, Mobile East. They're just off of Central, quite close to Garikatlan. They're going towards Garikatlan, one unlock. No, they're not coming here just yet. Woo! Okay. Right, so we're going to just see if we can actually find a spot. They're in an awkward position now, feeding underneath all these bush willows, getting the nice grass and eating the lovely leaves. Ellie seems to have been doing quite a bit of tracking and off the vehicle, so let's go to her and see if she's found any cat footprints.
Well, we have found some cat evidence. However, I think I have just missed the cats. The cat evidence somewhat heads south into Hoffman's, which is an area that we cannot go off to. So there are some tracks that have been going up and down the road. However, I think the final direction is there, and I couldn't find exactly where it is that the guys say that Shadow might have crossed. So if she's come into that area where we've been seeing him lately, it's a bit of a tough one. So I think maybe we're gonna make our way towards Treehouse Dam, see if perhaps we can pick up on Hosanna around there, or what was reported to be Hosanna. We're not sure if it was him indeed, but apparently a leopard crossed there. So we're gonna go and have a look and see what it is that's been happening. Alright, let's go have a look. No, yeah, you're giving us cat luck for today. Thank you. I think after this morning we were definitely needed. Alright, let's see. I just want to check that there aren't any tracks here. There's another track there. Where is this track? But they go... Let me just... Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's just have a look at what's happening here. Andrew, I'm on the fire break. I went around Triple M, Gary Main, but I couldn't see where they said that they had the Nkonza for Shadow crossing onto Yetela. I'm just gonna carry on going on the fire break towards Twin Dam, see if I can pick up anything here. Okay, Gabi, I'm not too far from there, so I've been checking here because I also got those reports earlier, but I'll let you know. There was what seemed to be some Madura Ingo and Nkonza, but they cross south onto Hofmans. Okay, copy. Right, sorry about that. It seems like everyone's gotten the report of where these cats might have crossed and where they might have been, because I think the spotted cats were a bit of a difficult one for pretty much everyone this morning. Now, I cannot see any more tracks, and we're heading roughly in the direction where apparently this mystery leopard was seen crossing onto our boundary around about midday today sometime. So we're gonna have a look and see if perhaps we can pick up on anything else. There are also some other guys checking around the area. And then of course, now that I want to show you a track for a leopard, I cannot do that because now there are none on the road that I can see. Which is maybe a good thing, because it means that whoever it is that it was didn't come all this far. So we're gonna carry on checking. Christine, you say that I need my lucky beans. That would be wonderful. I haven't seen any lucky beans either. So we're back to trying to have some skill. Now, I wonder if the tracks that we saw were not actually for Hosanna, because we're not too far from where apparently this mystery cat was reported crossing over, and the tracks go all the way back into Hoffman. So I wonder if it was actually him, which would not make me too happy, because then it means that he's come in and then he's gone back out again. So gonna have a very close look on the road, see if maybe we can have a bit of a look. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, here's a track of that mystery leopard, but I think unfortunately it's the same ones that we were looking at earlier that are not the best of tracks, and we already know which way they go. And now I need to find this track again to be able to show it, as it's been quite windy. Track, where'd you go? There we go. Alright, let me just try and maybe go like this so that I can show you guys the track. It's going to be a tricky one because it's covered in a lot of different things. Ooh, and now I've lost it again. Come on, little track. Where did you go? I think it's very good when we drive, because then I am a lot higher than what I'm supposed to be. Now, I can't even see it from here. This is ridiculous, but I promise you that there was a leopard track somewhere around here that I just saw, fully covered in leaves. If not, thankfully, just to prove that I'm not going absolutely crazy, here's another leopard track. Right around here. So it has been quite windy, so I'm not too concerned about everything that's on top of it, because that might just have happened after this animal walked. But it's going roughly in that direction, the direction where we come from, and that's where we had the tracks and where we checked. Unfortunately, carries on walking pretty much all the way onto the junction of the two main roads, and then it crosses onto another property, which is not really the news that we wanted to have. Now, I know it's hard to tell, but here's one toe. Second toe is here, third toe is here, fourth toe is here, and then 1, 2, 3, the lobes at the back of the pad. Now, like I said, going in that general direction, judging by size, I would imagine it's either a young male or a female, and there are more and more tracks here. Here's another track, so it's going, carrying on pretty much all the way to that main area. So I think maybe we're just gonna carry on, see if perhaps there's anything else that we have missed, and if not, then we can always go back to that last spot where we had the tracks and just make triple sure that he didn't actually come back, or that whoever it is that this was didn't actually come back into the same area. Because leopard movements have been a bit crazy as of late. They seem to come and go up and down a lot. We'll see. I'm going to carry on trying to find out what's happened with this leopard, but while I do that, let's go to Taylor, who's enjoying the elephants.
We are enjoying the elephants. They are just eating. And this little one is actually proving to be quite entertaining. I don't know how much feeding this little one is actually doing. What are you playing with now? You're rubbing your eye. It keeps trying to pick sticks up and logs. One of the adults, as children do. We always want to look like and do exactly what their parents do. And it's amazing how animals have a certain amount of natural instinct, but a lot of the behaviors out here are also learnt. We can clearly see that with elephants, though. Yes, you're enjoying that log. That's what you're doing. And keep pushing up against it, not quite rubbing on it and having a scratch. Maybe it's trying to test its strength. But unfortunately, I'm going to go with log 1 and little baby elephant 0. It's not winning. Oh, there's another one that's decided, oh no, let me show you how to do it. You actually climb over the top of it, Bob. Don't be silly and think you're going to push it over. 2 little elephants now. So here you can see there's no adults around them, or a couple of meters away, maybe 20 meters away from them, and they're quite happy to play on their own, unsupervised, as long as they don't get out of hand. And we're actually talking now, Sebastian and I, how quickly an elephant sighting can sort of go pear-shaped, if you will. And that's what we were saying why I don't like to off-road, is because I've had a bad experience with an elephant before, just one, very early in the guiding career. And I never want to get myself into a situation like that. And I wasn't even off-roading, I was on the road and just got blocked in. So you've got to be very, very careful. Because if a youngster that's playing around your car and seems to be quite happy for the moment, perhaps slips or trips or decides to throw a tantrum, Mom's going to come in and she's not going to ask any questions. And she'll assume that it was you that made her little one upset. And you can imagine, if you catch a cow on the wrong day, they're very tolerant. And most of the time they'll just run back and collect their little ones and then shake their head at you and then usher them off and out of the area. Some days you don't get that. Some days you just get Mom going, right, I'm actually sick of the lot of you. I'm annoyed. I'm not going to ask what happened. I'm just going to come and resolve the problem myself. So we don't want that to happen. But that's not going to happen today. So in case you were panicking, you were worried that Sebastian and I were risking our lives viewing these gentle giants, we're not. As long as we watch them, watch their behavior, and if the herd becomes stressed at any point, make sure that we have escape routes and be considerate of them. Look at you go, little one. You guys are stumping me with the questions today, and this one's from Misha. First Holly, now Misha. You're wondering, how long do I think elephants can remember things for? I don't know. I wish one day, Misha, the day that I can communicate with animals and plants, I will give you the answer to that question. Because I will tell an elephant a joke, and then a week later, I'll ask it the same joke and see if it says to me, hey, Taylor, you've already told us that one. Get some new ideas. Then I'll know. But otherwise, I'm not so sure just yet. Isn't that great, though? Elephants aren't really restricted to the height at which they can feed, which I suppose makes them really, really good at being able to feed on different things. Whereas, something like an impala or a daker or a bushbuck, they're quite short in terms of height, whereas an elephant, it's not short at all, and then it's got that trunk which it can stretch right up, so they can feed on tops of trees, and if the tree is too high, well, then guess what they do? They just push it over. Seb, would you like me to go forward and through to the next gap? That's what Sebastian was hinting. He was pointing the camera there, going, Taylor, let's go there. Yes, boss. That's a much better gap now, too, because they've come out into the open, so we can see this cow, we can see the little ones. It's quite beautiful. You might even see some backlit elephants. The light is still pretty harsh, though. Got about another hour to go, and then it will be perfect. Now, you know what this angle has actually given me the opportunity to see is the amount of insects that are buzzing around. Or maybe they might not be buzzing, they could be making other sounds too. They're midges, little flies and things all around. Maybe there's little biting flies that have decided to leave us alone for a change and go after the animals, which I'm sure they prefer. And I can understand why they're swatting their tails around, flapping their ears, because it's not that hot anymore. There's a nice cool breeze coming through. Hello, beautiful. This is a really lovely herd. They are so relaxed. I wish every herd of elephants was like this. Well, most of them are. Paul, now you're wondering, how do I tell the difference between a male and a female elephant from so far away? Practice, and by making lots of mistakes, and Paul, I still make all those mistakes. It's so easy for you to, sort of stare into the distance and think you're just seeing the back and the ears and go, yep, that looks like a male, the head looks quite round, and you can quite easily make a mistake. Oh my goodness, this giraffe that have joined the show too. Now we've got the two biggest land mammals. Hi guys. Did you see us and thought you'd just come and show up the elephants? That's quite great. I don't think, well, it's been a very long time since I've had giraffe and elephant in the same sighting. Today might be a day of many species spending quite a bit of time together, because we had it this morning where we had impala, we had zebra, and we had kudu, all in one go. And like I said, now we've got the largest land mammal and the tallest mammal in the world, both together. Not quite two of the big five species. And the reason why the giraffe is not considered one of the big five, that's actually a common mistake that people make when they do come on safari. Everyone always wants to know, what is the big five? Who is in it? And they often ask, what about a giraffe? So the whole big five came about. It was the 5 most dangerous animals in Africa, and particularly to approach on foot. And back in the day, they used to hunt those species too. But now the big five is more about our most amazing animals. I like the big five the way it is. I wouldn't want to change it for anything. But giraffe, I think, are probably one of the 5 top animals that everybody wants to see. Everyone always asks about a giraffe and zebra. Giraffe and zebra. People get upset if they don't get to see those animals on safari. Never mind a leopard or a lion. Got to make sure you get them in. They might be on their way down to the dam as well, so keep an eye out. We can't really get to the giraffe just yet because they're very, very far away, but they look like they're heading in that direction. So that might be something to go to a little bit later. Video Jumper, you've said there's been so many animals during this drive already. There has. We've been lucky. And I went out thinking, I don't know what we're really going to see today, because we didn't have much luck this morning. It was quite quiet. But hey, look, I could spend the whole afternoon with the elephants. Now come on, little ones, come out and say hello again. I really enjoyed that, just having the silhouetted giraffe in the distance. And they'll mind the elephants, though. They'll move about them. I'd actually like to see an encounter with a giraffe and a little elephant, with Mom nearby, just to see if the little elephants will also try and see if they can boss the giraffe around as they do with us. But I don't think the giraffe would stand for it, though. Oh, you're coming right here. There's a little one just moving right behind the car. It was just feeding underneath that shrub. Now it's feeding on the shrub. They're all eating bush willows. Bush willows and grass. That seems to be this afternoon's food of choice. Oh, let's go. Let's go quickly, Sebastian. If you're wondering why I was making those strange noises while Sebastian and I were both making those strange noises, and excitement is because Megan just said to me that there are more elephants at the dam and those guests are out. That's where we're going. Stay here or stay around here. We'll be back because I like those little ones. But let's go and see some elephants doing some different things. We've spent quite a bit of time with them munching away. Maybe we get giraffe and elephants at a watering hole together. How pretty would that be? Now I'm just thinking what I'm going to do, where we're going to view them from, because I would quite like to get sort of down to the same level as an elephant. We might go across the dam wall and through the dip, and depending on which side of the dam, we'll see. But I need to do a bit of figuring out to have a quick look to see what's actually going on with the elephants and the animals at the dam. So I'm going to send you across to Ali, who's hopefully going to find you all the cats to complete Cat a Day.
Hopefully. I will be happy with just one, though, to be very honest. But no, we have managed to find the spot where that reported leopard went in, but it was walking in the exact same direction where we had those other tracks, which is not too encouraging, because the last tracks that I had were coming back into this way. So we're just checking the main road, see if perhaps we can pick up any tracks of this creature going into one of our southern boundary, and just see if perhaps it's gone there, or if maybe I need to backtrack myself and then go back. Seems like Taylor's approaching the dam, and she's managed to find every other animal in Djuma, so let's keep her company.
We've actually taken a break because we're about to have an incredible time now. There's 3 giraffes staring. There was one young elephant bull that didn't quite like the look of the giraffe, but we're going to have a really great view of these 2 species of animals together. Look at that, it's so cool. This is amazing. Now, I know it's not a lion or a leopard, but to me this is so much better, because I don't know when I last saw something like this, to be honest, so I find it particularly fantastic, and I hope that you are enjoying it just as much as I am, because like I said, you don't always get to see this every day. We're lucky we see lots and lots of cats, but sometimes having an unusual sighting like this, not that it's particularly unusual, it's just we're obviously not at the right places at the right times, and the fact that those giraffe are standing from tall, medium to short, that's even better. Lily, who's 2 years old, you said that there's more elephants. There's so many elephants, Lily, and there's giraffe. How cool are the giraffe? And the elephants are walking right towards us too. This is great. What a fantastic afternoon this is turning out to be. We might just hang around at the dam for the rest of the day. Hello, girl. You're a big girl, aren't you? Can I roll back for you? You happy?
There's one behind the tree.
Oh, she's okay. She's still quite far back. Hi, guys. You're going to feed right here now. Now, this is as big as elephant cows get. I'm not going to move around too much. I'm just sussing out the situation. I'm going to shuffle in my seat now. Hi, girl. She's walking straight past. She's just going to cross the road now. Off she goes. They're going back down to the dam. No, I think the giraffe are waiting for their gap. They're obviously being courteous as well and saying, right, elephants, you go first. We'll come in next. Don't worry. This is so nice. Now the giraffe are coming too. Come on, giraffe, don't be afraid. Hi, big girl. Now, I always talk to the elephants. I talk to all the animals, but elephants in particular, because I'm 100% sure that you can calm an elephant down just by the tone of your voice. And most guides will agree with me, because every single one of them would have done so. It's very difficult to be quiet in a sighting like this. They really do respond to the tone of your voice. So it's not that they can understand me again. It's just feeding off, I think, vibes. Look at that. Now, Lorena, I have to agree with you 150%. You've said that it's so nice to see elephants after not seeing them for so long. Yep, I agree. And it's so nice to see elephants and giraffe interacting, feeding together, and hopefully even drinking together at some point. But I just want to see this little one's not having any of us going, nah. It's a little bit nervous. Are you scared? Don't be scared. It's okay. So it just shows you not all the big males are big and brave, hey? Well, he's not particularly big. He's quite young. He's at that age that he would be the one giving us lots of trouble. Not worried at all. But the giraffe are making a run for it now. They're going right. Seeing as though those giants have moved, we're going to tower over them too. Although they're just feeding. You're just standing staring at us. You're not quite sure as to what's going on just yet. What I do want to do, though, is I want to try and get in front of these giraffe, because I want to wait for them, but I don't want to disturb them. So let's do that while we haven't got any more roadblock. We're going to just go past these giraffe. We're going to go down to the dam. It's looking good, Sebastian. I agree with you. Hello. Giraffes. It's quite nice. But they'll come down. They'll be here shortly. Very pretty. Okay, let's go. We'll see you now, giraffe. 5 minutes. Down at the dam. Let's see if they're on time. I don't think giraffe are particularly good at being punctual. They need to work on that. So, yes, we're totally going to go down here. We're going to go... Whoop. Now, the reason why I'm not worried about going off-road over here is because we've got the water in front of us. So we've got a natural sort of barrier between us. And if anybody wants to come down this way, then we'll move for them. We won't block them. You know, and I'm not going to go right off the edge. I'll go along this little pathway here. Seeing as though this is the road we normally use. Well, it's not a road. Okay, down the dip. You're going to see me on the dam cam too. So wave nicely. Ah, that's fine. You don't have to see me. You can watch the elephants. The elephants are so much better anyway. Wait, Seb, I'm going to do one better. Oi! There's enough water to go around for everybody. Let's not have fights. It's like family reunion at a dinner table where somebody doesn't want to pass the gravy. We'll park just like this. Then we've got room if we need to reverse and move out of the way. We can move out of the elephant's way. And then we've got them just on the other side, and we're almost eye level with them too. So that's quite cool. That's quite nice. The blacksmith lapwings are not happy. I don't blame them. Those big feet trotting everywhere. Protect your eggs. That's what they're saying. Leave us alone. This is amazing. The giraffe are coming. More elephants are coming. Let's see what's happening here. The cow. You see how she's bossing everybody. She's come in. She's barged in. That's exactly what she's done. She almost had the look of a mussed bull. The swagger that she just showed. So we were talking about this the other day. So if they're not one herd, I think this could still be the same herd. Might be some more. Might be just a little satellite party tailing that big herd that we've already seen. So there's elephants coming back this way. I think they're coming back a second time now. Check there, Sebastian. The giraffe are pacing it, walking as quickly as we can on that big animal pathway that we were talking about, that the elephants use, and then they rub up on the marula tree. The giraffe use it too, so it's not just restricted. And there's an elephant running down, racing them just to the left of the elephants. Who's going to make it first? Elephant versus giraffe. Who's it going to be? I think the giraffe is going to get in. This one has taken a shortcut. and actually come down a lot faster. Now, they're not going to go and drink anywhere near the elephants, are they? Going to avoid them at all costs. There's already one moody cow in here that's showed sort of a bit of dissatisfaction with the rest of the elephants and sort of moved them all off. But here they are. This is an amazing sighting. Ooh. Now, James, you're wondering if I think that there's any interspecies communication going on? Most certainly. Remember, even though an elephant sounds different to what an impala sounds like, they can all still understand each other. Remember, we talk about animals alarming. One, look at that little one going right down onto its knees, rolling about. So we talk about animals alarming and other species of animals being able to understand those particular alarm calls. So I think so. I think that's exactly what's going on. And they're all just taking their time, having their chance. It actually looks like the giraffe have been told to wait, and that they're only allowed to come in at 4:10, so they've got to wait 10 minutes. The elephants have booked their slot. Sarah, now you've said it's one big happily family. Well, just one, not happily, just happy. I agree. The only ones that don't seem to be too happy here is the blacksmith lapwing. They're having a bit of a panic. Look at this young bull digging around. This is so great. And Lady Starfire, you said that the giraffe were on time. It seems as though they did only take about 5 minutes too. So there we go. Maybe I'm communicating with the animals too. But you know what? I'm actually not going to say anything now. I'm just going to let you listen to the wonderful sounds of the elephants sludging through the water, the blacksmith lapwing. Yes, Megan says that you guys apparently can hear me on the dam cam, and I'm sure even the people in Australia could hear me with the volume of my voice. Now I'm going to I also had to hydrate. These elephants were making me thirsty. However, I may have been inspired to take a sip of water from my water bottle. However, they're not rubbing off on me. I don't want to go and have a mud bath. You all remember that great day when Evia, who was one of our freelance presenters, came in and he had a mud wallow. Oh my goodness, that was so great. I don't think anyone will ever top that. I'm too scared to go and wallow around in that mud. Bad enough that we've been wading about in Vuyatela Dam one night as we were searching for frogs. That was also quite a fun night. These are the days that I live for. Being in the bush. We don't get them every day. This is an exceptionally special sighting that we're witnessing. Not only are they having a mud bath and drinking water, but they're pushing and shoving each other around too. And we've got so many different species of animals just around here. So I'm going to count. So we've got impala, we've got elephants, we've got giraffe, we've got terrapins in the dam, and turtle doves, and blacksmith lapwings, and monkeys also sitting in the car. There's lots of different animals around here. Roshni, you say that I'm like Dr. Doolittle. I'd like to think that. That would be amazing, but I really wish I had the skills though. But I'm quite happy. I think I must just be lucky. Here we go. Itchy ear. Folding that right back. I think you can see how flexible those ears are and how thin the skin is around there too. Oh, you've bent it forwards. Now it looks like she's bent it out of shape slightly. Give it a flap. There we go. Now that's better. My OCD was kicking in. It's like when your dog's at home or your cat at home, ear folds back. I can't. I have to unfold it for them. Any paintings on the wall that aren't straight, I'll be the one that finds them and fixes them for you too. Ah, look, Seb, this one's come right here. Oh, that's so great. This giraffe has basically come to drink right in front of us. That's amazing. I'm going to duck out of the shot now. The giraffe is much prettier. Are you that thirsty, giraffe, that you feel as though you need to lick your lips before you have a sip of water? Now, watching giraffe drink has to be one of my favorite things. The giraffe are all looking away now because the elephants are being ridiculous. And they were charging away. And Megan, you said this giraffe has got some blood on its leg. Oh, there we go. I see what you're talking about. It's hard to say what that is. That actually just... It doesn't look like a kick or anything like that. Maybe when it was walking through the thicker vegetation from where the elephants were as well. Perhaps it just got caught on a branch, on a thorny branch, and has managed to cut through a giraffe's skin. Because she won't be fighting. Stomping obviously the oxpeckers are being slightly annoying. So as I was saying, I love to watch giraffe drink, not because they have to split their legs into a very awkward position and then stretch their long necks all the way down to take a sip of water, but it's once they've got a mouthful and they throw their heads back so dramatically and then water goes everywhere and saliva. We'll watch it now. You're getting ready. I suppose this giraffe actually reminds me of when I try and touch my toes before I go running. It doesn't always happen the first time, but I give it, a couple of bends, 1, 2, 3, and eventually I get there. I wonder if that's what this giraffe is doing too. Oh no, she's going in now. She means business. Look at her looking at the water saying, oh, so lovely. I just can't reach it. Yes, you can. Beautiful reflection. It's a pity about the breeze, otherwise that would have been amazing, don't you think? It would have been like glass. That's not a dinosaur. That is the elephants. Still making quite a bit of noise. And all those ripples from the wind, as I just said, and there's a couple of insects around the surface of the water too. And terrapins. Now you can see she's changing her stance slightly. Here we go. That's the position that you need to get into if you want to drink water when you've got such long legs and such a long neck. Look at that. Foot in the water. They don't mind getting a bit muddy. There we go. That's what I love the most, is when they do that. Look at all that. That's great. All the saliva, all the water. They're not the graceful animals when it comes to drinking water. I think they make the most mess, the giraffe. They must waste half of it as they throw their heads back. Oxpeckers are very busy. They must be hungry too. And there's actually some oxpeckers just to the right of the giraffe that have gone down to have a drink as well. They're being chased. That elephant's not having any of it. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. I think it's determined, this young bull, to chase these giraffes. This one's a much bolder elephant than what we saw earlier. I hope you're taking lots of screenshots. Remember to share them with us. This is so great. Like I said, I don't think I've seen this yet since I've been at Wild Earth. Sorry, Megan, can I have that question again? I just got excited about the elephant chasing the giraffe.
I just wanted to catch that dose.
And disappearing into the distance. We'll catch them later. Now, just going back to the giraffe. Chitty chitty bang bang, you were wondering if I thought that those giraffe were related. No, I don't think so at all. And that's purely just because of their social structure. Remember, we often talk about them. It's called temporary associations. So there's no permanent bonding, unlike you'll find with a family of elephants, where a daughter will stay with its mother for the rest of her life. Most of the time. There's obviously, of course, exceptions with every rule, but that is what normally happens. Whereas giraffe, once the youngsters reach the age where they no longer depend on mom anymore, they'll often go off on their own missions. So you might see these three together one day, and tomorrow they could all go on their separate ways or join up with somebody else, another group of giraffe. So no, I don't think that they necessarily are related. But it is beautiful though. I want to have a look. Can we have a look at those oxpeckers having a bath? Sorry, Seb, I know we started and then we got distracted because there's just so much action going around at the moment. But we've watched the giraffe have a drink, and I quite like the oxpeckers too. The oxpeckers are very interesting birds. Let's see if any of them are going to use the giraffe to reach into the water to have a drink. I'm going to use that opportunity to go into your ear while you're drinking water and you're not paying attention and you can't shake me off. But there we go, they're going to get a surprise. When it comes back up again, they'll get whipped off if they're not careful and end up in Buffel's hook if the giraffe throws its head back far enough. But there they are, cooling themselves down. This is also another efficient way for birds to keep themselves nice and cool. But now, once they drench their feathers like that, they won't be able to fly very far for very long. So they'll have to dry them the old-fashioned way. Luckily for them, there is a bit of a breeze. So it seems as though they'll fly up once they've finished, up onto the giraffe again, continue feeding, and then that way, look, they're actually preening themselves now. The ones on the neck, they're not feeding. They've had a bath. That's the drying spot, the drying rack. So giraffe are useful, not only for supplying food for birds, but also to dry your feathers out. Who needs a tree when you've got a giraffe? Look at that, opening all its tail feathers, flapping around quite a bit just to create a bit of movement. Maybe the wind is just not quite enough. I suppose it's like a natural hairdryer. Giraffe, you are covered in oxpeckers. You're having a good grooming day today, aren't you? They're such graceful creatures. And I bet all the children watching today, I bet what you're thinking is that how jealous you are that a giraffe has a tongue that's long enough that it can lick its nose. How great would that have been as a kid? I think that would be every child's dream. Gross, yes, I know, but we were all thinking it, don't deny it. Isn't that lovely? Elephants, it's like they were never here. There's just one or two of them still scattered out, the bulls at the end of the herd, and they've changed direction completely. From going back towards Gari Katlan, they're now gone completely north, back up towards Mvubu Road. Now, we've been seeing the giraffe moving around quite a bit. We've seen them drinking, we've seen them eating, and doing all sorts of things. Now, John was wondering about giraffe sleeping patterns. Do they sleep standing up like elephants? So, John, what actually happens with a giraffe is they'll sit down, but like a horse sits down in a stable or out in a paddock, just sort of crossing their legs, they don't put their heads down on the ground. So they don't wrap their heads around their bodies. As amazing as what that would be, they can't do that, and they don't sit down for very long. Maybe half an hour here, an hour there, and then they're back up on their feet, moving around and browsing again. And when they do rest like that, actually on windy days, I've seen more giraffe on very windy days sitting down than I have at any other time. So there must be a correlation between those two. Perhaps it's because they are so tall that not even some of the trees can hide their tall necks. So sitting down, getting lower to the ground, you'd find it would be a lot more sheltered. Beautiful patterns, beautiful animals. What a wonderful day we've had so far. It really couldn't get any better than that unless Ali gets a cat of some sort. Justin, you're wondering if I thought that a giraffe could do the splits. I reckon if they practiced enough, maybe. I think they can do the splits better than what I could. The other night I almost did the splits countless times as we were playing a game called Hacky Sack, which is a sort of a knitted ball that is filled with something, sand or beans or something like that, and it's about the size of a baseball, maybe even slightly smaller than a baseball, maybe a tennis ball, and you bounce it on your legs, but you can't use your hands, and you've got to kick it to each other, and you've got to try and see for how long you can keep the hacky sack up. So we were playing that the other night, and I made the fatal mistake of stepping on the sandbag, and I involuntarily did the splits. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to have to call African Safety, get the paramedics to try and remove me from that position. But luckily I survived and I'm here. It was a fun game. We're going to become professional hacky sack players. But our animals are all starting to move off. One giraffe is focusing up there. I don't know if it's because of the Inyala or what's got its attention, but we'll have a little scratch around here. We'll see if we can find those elephants again. But let's go across to Ali, who has had ample time to track, and I'm sure she's got some good news for you.
Not quite, guys. Unfortunately, the leopard that came in also went out, and it's gone back to Arathusa, so we can't really carry on following up and it's not around. So we're going to try perhaps coming onto this area later on, see if it does come back, seeing like it was a bit active, and then there are some more tracks for another female coming in, going down into the drainage and then get lost down there. I do think that she's probably gone back around, so it is unfortunately no good news, but who knows, maybe we'll find some more tracks anywhere around here. The drive is still young, but in the meantime we have managed to find what I think it's pretty much all of the possible warthogs in Djuma. On Djuma. So we've got what appears to be 2 adults and 5 and 6 youngsters. It's a lot of warthogs around here. Looking very pretty with that beautiful sunlight coming onto their mane, and of course there's a few of them that are down on their wrists trying to feed on the wonderful green shoots of grass that are all around there. It'll be softer to eat, yummer, and probably easier to try and pull from the ground. Lots of them around here. And of course there's a bit of a misunderstanding in between the birds that are chasing each other all in between the warthogs. Seems like we've got a blacksmith plover chasing a 3-banded plover. Alright guys, like you can share. I reckon the the dam is big enough for all of you. Maybe the blacksmith plover doesn't agree. And of course, how we missed it. There's a big hippo in the middle of the dam. Hello. Now it seems like this one is not as shy, or perhaps if it is the same one, then maybe today he's feeling a bit braver. And there we go. And I would imagine that this is the same one that we saw walking around last night, just because it's not too far from where we saw it. But we did come around here this morning and there were no signs of a hippo, so I wonder if he perhaps was being shy and just hiding underneath the water, or if it's just been here all along, or if it only just came down to the water later on and he was resting up in some of the thickets during the day. Because hippos can also do that during the winter time, as the day starts becoming hotter, and if they get caught out pretty much in their feeding or foraging session, they can go into a bit of a thicket and just stay there for the day, just to make sure that they don't dehydrate, and then they'll come back onto the water hole that they came from. Very crazy. It seems like lots of things around here. Lorena, you're wondering if this is Scuba Steve. Well, I'm wondering the same thing, because every time that I've seen Scuba Steve, I know it's Scuba Steve because I can only see its nostrils as it comes up and grabs a bit of water, of air, sorry, because it's always down below the water, below the surface. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is him. It would make a lot of sense that it is him, but it's hard to tell if it's actually Scuba Steve or perhaps another one. What I am, let's say, 90% sure about is that this is the same one that we saw walking around yesterday evening, because like I said, we're not too far, so I think it's a very high possibility that it is Scuba Steve. Now it seems like the warthogs have decided to leave us and they've carried on. And I wonder if perhaps it's a family of warthog that we saw Tingana hunting not too long ago. Interesting. Alright, I think there's also one more tiny little bird in front of us. I don't know if you can see it just on the dead branches over there. It's a little bee eater. One of the cutest little things to your right. There we go. The little bee eater, the smallest one of the bee eater family, and it's of a beautiful yellow and green. And often they'll be together in little flocks, so I wonder if there's another one around here that we haven't seen. And it's wonderful to look for them in the mornings, because when they're really, really cold, they will all huddle up next to each other and stay together. Now there's the other one, here right next to us. Ah, the two of them are there. Hello guys. Okay, well two of them, and I think that maybe there might be a third one or a fourth one fluttering somewhere on the branches. Oh, they are such beautiful little birds. the little bee eaters. Now, often when they go hunting, they're looking for the prey. They hunt on the wing, meaning that they hunt while they fly, and then once they catch whatever it is that they were looking for, they come onto the same tree, the same branch, and then they stay until they pretty much beat it onto the branch, get rid of all the wings or antenna or any stings that the creature that they're hunting might have, and then they swallow it head first. Very rough for such a cute little bird, isn't it? Gone away. Gone away. Oh, and come back up. Alright, it's good to see you guys. Last time I saw you was a few days ago. They're very pretty and they're all fluttering around here. Now, I think we are going to just be leaving Treehouse Dam, see if maybe we can find any other signs for any of the spotted cats. It would be completely outrageous if we didn't find any on Catterday. However, let's fear not. There's plenty of time still for the last minute leopard to pop up and say hello. And of course, maybe the lions. That would be wonderful. Let's see. Maybe we can pick up on any more tracks. But that was good. An unexpected hippo and bee eaters. I might just run down. What is that over there? Sorry, I just want to have a quick... Okay, no, nothing to worry about. I was hoping that Hosanna was going to be somewhere around here this afternoon, if it was actually him that they saw crossing on the road earlier today. But if it was him, then I find it a bit strange, because he would have pretty much crossed in and then crossed out onto Arethusa. And as far as I know, he doesn't really go there. But who knows? Leopards have been a bit of a mystery, and they keep surprising us have kept surprising us in the last few weeks. So we'll keep an eye out here, see if perhaps we can find any more tracks. And then obviously we'll go now onto Twin Dams and just check around there, because I'm sure that those impala that we had this morning that were alarming and causing chaos, they were potentially looking at something, and Taylor's tracks that she had on the Molowati for that other leopard were also roughly headed in that direction. So it's a good area to start checking around, and of course I'm wishfully hoping that there will be a leopard on top of one of these marulas or any of these trees around here that we can see in the distance. There are a few termite mounds as well, so it wouldn't be a bad place for any of these leopards to just sit on top and wait for the afternoon to go by. Although a lot of the times I think it's more wishful thinking than when it actually happens. Alright, seems like nobody's been walking down here today, which is a bit unfortunate, because they've all been staying far south. I wonder why. Very unusual things have been happening in the leopard. Shifted everyone's balance and everyone's territory, and everyone's sort of hanging out in different areas where maybe they were not seen earlier on. And now we've got the added mystery: is Tundi mating with Tingana again? Was she just trying to fool him? What's the story? And then of course both of them, Tundi and Shadow, spending a lot more time in here. Shongile spending a little bit less time as far as we know, but perhaps she's just hiding so well that we can't really even find her tracks. And then, well, of course, we do have the lions that grow wings and fly away. What is that? Ah, it seems like Taylor managed to find the elephants again, so let's go over to her and find out what they're all up to.
Well, I'm just hoping we're not going to get a flat tire now. The elephants deposited a branch in the middle of the road, and I can't get out to move it because they're right here. And yes, here's our culprit. Here's our branch moving elephant. Look at this. Oh, that's such cool golden light. Backlit elephant. That's amazing. So it's not moving it into the road to annoy me on purpose. She's not very happy with the other bull that's trying to come in and feed on it as well. So you see, he took a mouthful of grass. Oh, they're just going to greet each other. Hello. How are you doing? Long time no see. Probably what they're saying. And it moved that tree out of the way to get all that nice grass. Are they going to nudge heads? Yes, give me that grass. No, they're just greeting each other. That's often how elephants will greet each other. They'll touch. He's now smelling him towards his nether regions. It's also very typical. We see that with a lot of different animals. Very important sense of smell. Here comes the third one coming over to see what all the commotion is about. But that is really elephants in a sea of golden grass, don't you think? It's beautiful. And you can also see all the bugs flying around, the ones that I was telling you about. Just see them moving around slightly. Yes, you're all going to have to learn from the elephant in the middle, because it seems to be more intelligent than the two of you. You were just trying to now push it around and boss it. The reason why I say it's more intelligent is because it was the one that's figured out how to get nice grass. And all he wants to do is just eat in peace, and he can't. See how he's being bullied at the moment? And they'll probably end up pushing and shoving each other around. And I think that they're going towards... I wonder if they're going to go to Gallagher Pan to have a drink. It didn't really look like they had much to drink at Vuyatela Dam. They seem to be having more of a mud bath. So we'll go up and around. But they're going to block our way. Now we're going to have to wait again. Let's hope that they don't take too long. Yes, good elephants. Okay, let's sneak past while we have a chance. Now, lovely, you're wondering if elephants chew on branches to not only, no, I've forgotten, not only keep their teeth clean and to eat, what is it? Sorry. Oh, for nutrition and to keep their teeth clean. There we go. Missed the word nutrition. I'm going to sneak past these elephants quickly because I want to get to the rest of the herd. I'm just going to drive past slowly. They won't mind us. Hi, guys. Thank you very much for not shaking your heads at me. Not even one of them shook their heads. You can see they're not interested in me passing by. Anyways, yes, they are. They're having a drink. I think they've already had a drink. So, I suppose so. They eat the cambium layer of the bark, so the inner layer. It's their favorite, especially in winter. They enjoy that bit. Keeping their teeth clean, I suppose, if they are sort of chewing on a branch like that and maybe moving it around, it might get rid of some of the sort of plaque buildup that I'm sure you'll see. Maybe, I don't know. I've never ever met an elephant dentist before, so I haven't been able to ask them. But who knows all the reasons why animals do certain things. Again, I'm just going to pull off the road slightly. They've had a quick drink. They didn't waste much time there. I think because we got stuck behind the other elephants, they actually were moving a lot quicker than we initially suspected. Oh, who have we got coming down over here to say hello? Or are you just going to have a drink? No, young bull's just going to have a drink. Oh, lovely. That's nice of you. So, reason why that Ellie's probably doing that, you often see them when they approach a dam. They'll take their first trunk full of water and spray it away. Sometimes the water's quite dirty, so by doing that you also see them move their trunks in the water quite a bit, trying to get rid of sort of the not so great part. Oh, and guess who's coming over to say hello, or guess who's coming to try and intimidate us? Surprise, surprise. Hello. I'm not going to fall for your tricks though, young man. They won't work with me. Itchy ankles. We actually see elephants scratching around their ankles quite a bit, and that must be because of all the blood vessels that they have around there, so parasites can be attracted to those regions, not just underneath the tail or in the ears, underneath the arms or in the folds of skin, but also around the ankles. You see, he came through, he tried to sass us, but I didn't react to him at all, so I think he got bored straight away, and now he's carrying on. Elephants are on the move though. There's one, and I presume it must be the matriarch that's doing all the communicating, but she's telling everybody to get moving. So the herd stops and feeds for a bit, and then they put foot, and we'll probably lose them in this thicket as well. I don't know for how much longer we'll be able to see them. It's quite a big block. We've seen it when we've been in there with Mvula before, how dense it is. Now, Riti, you're wondering, when the head, so the matriarch of an elephant herd dies, who takes her spot? Who takes over? Well, it'll probably be the oldest and most experienced elephant. Almost, I'm sure in a herd you'll have a second in charge, sort of like a board that runs the herd. So not only do you have the matriarch, the one who makes all the decisions, but I'm sure it's a group effort, seen as though they've got such close-knit relationships. So it'll just be the next one. Right, now they're moving into the thicket. Let me go around, see if we can get a view of those youngsters again. I just wanted to try and catch them drinking. We just missed it, unfortunately. We might be able to get those ones again. You can't have it all. It was very glamorous when they were down by the water. It would be nice if they go up on towards quarantine. They might be there a little bit later. Maybe we get our silhouetted shots of elephants tonight. That would be, wow, that would be the cherry on top. I think I could be asking for a little bit too much today. We'll have one last view of these bulls and then I think we'll carry on. We'll go see what else we can find. I want to go back and check around that area where we had those female leopard tracks this morning. So around the Mulwati, Vulture's Nest, Battalier Road, Nyala Road South, Mamba. And just see if we can pick up on anything, if there's been any new movements. Oh, sorry, young man. I didn't mean to bother you. They reverse very well too. Looks like the one at the back wants to play. He had that look in his eye as if they were going to charge each other and clash tusks. But it won't be a real fight, it's just them practicing for one day when they're actually competing for the females. Hello, boy. No, you don't have to come right up to the car, that's not necessary. Yes. No. He's not doing anything wrong, but I just want to watch him because they're naughty and there's no need for elephants to try and intimidate you. They also need to learn from this age that we can coexist together. Pardon? Can I? Really? Must I do it? Sebastian says I must kiss this elephant's bum. Megan, what do you think? Okay, am I there?
No, more forward. Yeah, fixing the leg a bit more up. A bit forward. Yeah, perfect. No, look, he's upset because I laughed at him. I'm sorry, they made me do it. I know, I didn't agree with it either. But when the voices talk to me in my head, I have to listen to them. I sound just like a real crazy person there when I say something like that, hey? When I say I have to listen to the voices in my head. Anyways, and my favorite animal, Connor, who's our engineer, thinks I'm crazy. That's fine. I think most people don't think that I'm particularly normal, but that's okay. I suppose that would make me a little bit different, hey? Now, I hope that you all took some screenshots of that because I'm going to have to send that picture to my mom. She will laugh at me. My dad will just shake his head in embarrassment. But yes, I obviously succumbed to peer pressure, as you saw there. I didn't want to do it. Okay, let's leave our gentle giants. I think that they've put on more than enough of a show. Thank you, young man. No, relax. It's okay. I'm not going to push you off the road. He panicked. I think he thought I was going to try and squeeze past him, but I'm not going to do that. We'll go the other way around. What a great day spent with the elephants. But I think we'll take a break from the pachyderms now, and we'll move into those areas and hopefully find some cats. Addie, shame, she's been searching far and wide for anything that is feline-like. Let's go and take a look and see if she has got any more tracks.
Well, no more tracks. It seems like they're quite empty, so... Alright, seems like we might get lucky after all on Chitwa, but I don't want to get our hopes up. Dylan, for Ali Dylan. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get a hold of the people on the radio because there's been reports of a leopard, but I'm not too sure if it's in an area that we can access. Enoch, for Ali Enoch. Enoch, sorry, what is the lock of that Ingwer? Sorry, confirm Nkoro. Okay, copy, thanks. I have missed you, my dax. Alright, sorry guys, it seems like no leopards around here. Unfortunately, the one that has been found is all the way on Nkoro. Not too sure which one it is, but it is an area that we cannot go to, so let's not lose hope. Let's go on to the beautiful dam, see if there's anything around here that might indicate that there's a leopard lurking in the distance, or in the vicinity would be a lot better. But I'm sure the guys will keep us updated if there is anything of interest around this area. But if not, the dam is always a beautiful place to come and have a look at, because there are a lot of little things always around here. So who knows, maybe we will get lucky with something else while we leave that general area and give the cats a bit of a chance to start coming there. But who knows, maybe Taylor will find a leopard very close to those elephants. I have a friend that used to say that whenever you get a big herd of elephants, in the radius of 20 meters, you will definitely have a leopard somewhere around there, taking advantage of all the noise and the destruction that the elephants do. So I find that every time that we've had lots of elephants around, it has been true. So let's hope that is also true this time around, and that wherever Taylor is, that there's a leopard nearby. So maybe just need to keep our eyes open and there will be something lurking around. Perhaps Tamba, that would be quite wonderful, as we haven't seen him for a while. But it seems like not too much. Alright, tracks on the road, some very old elephant tracks. I am really hoping to see elephants having a bath at Chitwa Dam one day, but I think it might still be a little bit of a while. Alright, there is, however, a very beautiful tree. There are a few of these ones all the way on Chitwa Dam that I'd like to show you, and I think perhaps this is the best one to have a look at. So it's this one on our side here. This beautiful tree that we're looking at is actually two trees in one. So we've got that one that you see that it's tangling and it's getting all tangled around the tree. So the one that's getting tangled around the tree with the very big leaves, that is a strangling fig. And the tree that it's starting to get tangled upon is a leadwood. So you see even the bark is very different. We have the typical crocodile skin-like bark of the leadwood, the one on the right, and then the strangling fig going all the way down. Now, the strangling figs are beautiful trees. However, they are also not too friendly, and funny enough, they start growing upside down. And by upside down, I mean normally it's the seeds that get logged somewhere on the top of the tree, and then slowly but surely they start pretty much encasing themselves in the tree, and their roots will come from the top until they slowly start going all the way down, and then pretty much trapping or strangling the tree that they have taken up as a host. So in this case, it seems like this good old leadwood has still a while to live. As you can see at the bottom part, there are a lot of leaves, but at the top, sorry, no, those are the guari bushes more. Those are the leaves of the fig. And then all the way to the top, there are some more leaves that actually belong to the leadwood. Now, on top of this tree, slowly but surely the strangling fig is going to carry on growing, and then it's going to start suffocating all that tree until eventually it's not going to be a leadwood anymore. The strangling fig would pretty much have taken over. Now, the reason for it is because as the strangling fig starts growing, it'll start pretty much trying to suffocate the tree by trying to take all of the possible light features. Seems like Taylor has got a bird, so let's go over to her and see if that bird is more interesting than the strangling fig.
Well, the reason why I've called you very quickly across here is because it's the black-collared barbet that I've only been searching for about a month now. I keep trying to find it, and I keep just missing them. So before it flies away, I just very quickly wanted to show you how beautiful these birds are, with their red face, their black head, and a little bit of yellow feathers that are just sticking out on the side. And they have the most amazing call, but yay! Woohoo! It may seem silly to all of you, but I'm very happy that we very quickly got to see the black-collared barbet, because that's been another one that has been avoiding me for I don't know how long. I thought I was going to have to continue doing Mulwati drives, the sunset cruises or sunrise cruises, to try and find that bird. It's just landed back up ahead. Right. But it's probably going to fly away. Okay, no. Right. Because I disturbed Ali during her tree, I feel horribly bad. I feel terrible now. So let's go back across to her so she can finish her story.
Alright, glad that you all managed to see that beautiful black-collared barbet. They are one of the prettiest birds out there, and their song is very beautiful. Now, just as we were saying about this tree, so they start suffocating from the top all the way to the bottom, and the reason that, or the way that they're going to be doing is they're going to start climbing all the way up into the tree, and the bigger the strangling fig it gets, the more it's going to pretty much have its leaves and its canopy on top of the host, in this case the leadwood tree, and that way the leaves of the leadwood tree will start be covered by the ones of the fig, and they won't be able to reach the sunlight, and therefore it won't be able to produce any food. And then slowly but surely then the leadwood tree is going to die. So I think it's still a while for this to happen, but it's quite interesting because I've only seen one strangling fig on Djuma, but there are quite a few all around Chitwa Dam. So I'm sure what's happened is the birds have been feeding on the figs and the fruit of this one, and then they fly onto the next tree, and as they defecate on top of the branches of the tree, then the new seed germinates, and then it starts pretty much climbing and then going all the way down to the bottom. Now, there are different species that are found all the way in southern Africa, but these are very deadly figs. And it is quite funny because normally figs are trees that are wonderful for the environment. Machine Gun Ness, you say that we need a tree list. Well, that would be pretty cool of the birds, but we'll definitely, I'm sure we will have some very interesting things in there. Perhaps we'll even start finding new ones, but like I said, there seem to be more of the strangling figs further away, and it's quite cool because we don't really get any other figs around here. I haven't been able to see any other figs, so the fact that we have a strangling fig, or a few of them, it's very nice. It is because it attaches onto the host. It's a it's a bit of a semi-parasitic plant, as it will not necessarily suck the nutrients from the plant, but it's eventually going to kill it just by being on top of it. Now, seems like we are approaching gremlin zone, so let's go over to Taylor while we fight the last few gremlins to get to the water's edge.
Oh, hello. I didn't even understand that you were coming with us. Sorry, we were looking at a bird and we were trying to figure out what exactly we were looking at. It was making a strange noise, a noise that I hadn't heard before. It was a dark-capped bulbul. I don't know what sound it was mimicking or what it was doing, but it was making a bizarre one. So it got us all fooled. It almost sounded quite parrot-like, something along those lines. But just a dark-capped bulbul. They're quite pretty. They're not very common in South Africa, in the gardens. Okay, now we're actually going to go back towards the area where we had seen, when we saw those leopard tracks, and we'll give it another bash. I don't really know where to start though. That's my only problem. Is she could be anywhere, and I don't know if it was just one female leopard tracks that we were looking at. I wonder if it wasn't perhaps two, because the tracks don't make sense to me. The freshest ones we had were the ones that were coming south down in Yala Road south back towards the Mulwati. Then we also had relatively fresh tracks on Mamba and Dung leopard scat going towards the Mulwati. So if Nyala Road south is here, let me just put it in sort of perspective for you. If Inyala Road south is there and the Mulwati is down below us, Mamba Road is here. So the tracks come all the way down, then go in the Mulwati and come back up and then completely vanish. So it just doesn't make sense. Unless the leopard was doing loops and loops around, which could also be possible. But so I'm confused. So I think we'll stick on Central and we'll go back down in Inyala Road south. Just try our luck around there, and then we'll go into the Mulwati, we'll go on to Mamba, then we'll go around and we'll come back down Battalier Road. Let's do loops, do figures of eights and all sorts of things up and down the roads until we hopefully bump into something. And well, if we see anything else along the way, we'll stop for that too. Birds, if we see any more mammals. We've been lucky, we've seen so many mammals today. Now, one of our young viewers, Mita, who is only 8 years old, you're wondering if there are any crows in the Sabi Sand. You know what, Mita? Sometimes we see crows and white-necked ravens. We typically see the pied crows. But I'm glad that we don't see them too often because they're a pest. They compete with a lot of the other birds. Now theoretically they shouldn't actually occur right here in the Sabi sand. So I know we have to report sightings. Well, down in the south we used to report sightings of ravens, and I've seen ravens, white-necked ravens, mobbing vultures at carcasses to try and obviously deter them, to try and get them to go away. And they're not great, so they compete for a lot of resources out here. They're a bit of a pest. Just as they plague cities and things like that, they do exactly the same thing out in the bush. So I'm quite happy, like I said, to say no, we don't see them very often. I think I saw a white-necked raven the other day. Oh, hi elephants. Don't be ugly to us, I'm sorry. No. I'm going to leave her. It's okay, young lady. She's not as happy as the other elephants were, but again, it's just her and her young calf. So we're going to keep moving. You can see straight away, completely different behavior. Ears slightly flared, trunk curled up underneath her. She's just not relaxed. We've seen lots of elephants. We don't need to bother her. She'll probably feel much better once she eventually catches up to the rest of the herd.